even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
Hello, and welcome to the 420 Project Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Erin.
And I'm Michael.
And this is episode number 12. Don't forget, you guys, check us out on iTunes at the 420 Project Podcast. Happy New Year! Yes, it's 2018. Erin, say something.
Happy New Year, guys.
Woo! There's the sparklers.
Funny bone.
Shh, I'm burning you with the sparklers. Shh, I'll put them out. Oh, they're out. Well, guys, we are into the new year. It is currently the 9th of January. It is Tuesday. For our American listeners, ooh, we are in the future. Ooh. It is almost going to be Wednesday. So, you guys, how was your New Year's? What did you get up to, Erin? Well, I know what you got up to, but let's go to Michael.
Thanks, Erin. Basically, just lunch at the family's house.
Yep.
Big family lunch. You know, the whole classic spread and everything.
Whole kit and caboodle.
That's pretty much it. Like,
nice.
Yeah, it was low key. Wasn't hot.
Did you cook?
No.
No.
Didn't cook.
Ah, that's a change.
I cheated and bought preheated meat. Like
Yes.
pre-roasted meat on the day.
You legend.
Yeah.
Fuck cooking all the time. Michael is a chef, for those who don't know, and he quite often has to cook the Christmas lunch, which I don't know. I think it's a bit unfair sometimes. I don't think you want to always do your job.
Yeah, I mean,
You really
sometimes
do.
I volunteer, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be expected to
Yeah,
do
it is
all the time.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I volunteer, it's like, well, bitch, I didn't have to volunteer in the first place.
Yeah.
But anyway, I took a year off, so it was good.
Yeah.
It was relaxing.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys had fun, I heard.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, we did, I guess. What was that fun thing we did on New Year's Eve, Erin?
A sparkler bomb, was it? Or
Yes,
yeah.
we got a few sparklers, tied them to a deodorant can, set them off in a field somewhere, and then put out the fire. There wasn't a fire, no. The sparklers that, once it explodes, the sparklers just run out, but we went there with like a load of water, so we sprayed it over, so we can't get arrested, I hope.
It's all good.
Highly doubt, I'm sure.
We also put off a few sparklers in the backyard, about 50 of them, but we had Michael over a few nights ago, and we didn't do a podcast that night, but
Oh, we did a bigger one, yeah.
we did a bigger fucking one.
We did, actually. I mean, does someone have a video here?
Yeah. Is it on mine?
No, it's on yours.
It's on Erin's,
Okay.
and we're recording on Erin's.
Okay. Well, just for
You have to take our word for it, everyone.
This was the size of...
How much?
I think
Well, first of all, how much money did you spend on all those sparklers? 'Cause
$20 because they were only like 70 cents a pack of 40. And I believe I bought 11 packets, making it 484. I can't
Oh my
remember.
It
god.
was quite a lot.
Yeah, so sticky taped them all together, then masking taped them all together, and then had duct tape. So it was quite a tight package. Like with a diameter of my hand. If you put your two thumbs together and your two middle fingers together, it was just a little bit.
It was
thicker
pretty
than
thick. That looks probably about the size of like a cantaloupe, maybe? Or like a melon?
Yeah.
Honeydew
probably.
melon or something like
Like
that.
a small honeydew.
It was fucking
Yeah.
thick, guys. You should see. I'm gonna get I'll get a picture of that and post it on our Facebook page and on our Twitter, because it was quite funny how big and thick this thing was.
Even though it fell over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely went off. So basically, with the whole like masking tape business, it forces the sparks to go up
Yeah.
instead of out, so it concentrates the energy.
So how
just like a
high?
rocket.
Yeah.
How high did those flames
Over the
go?
house.
Went way above
Yeah, it
the
did
house.
go quite high, and then it
Oops, shit.
it fell.
It fell over because that
What's
has
the
so
fence?
much force.
You are fake news.
So I'm going to talk about something else that I saw on Facebook just
Yep.
today.
Hit us with it.
About same-sex couples can now get officially married.
Finally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I do remember we had that story in our last podcast where I think I mentioned that some people had gotten special permission
Yeah,
to get married early, but now it is you're saying it's
Yeah.
official that everyone now can.
Yeah, it was like midnight last night.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
they could get
people
married.
were
Let's
organising their
cheers
weddings.
to that. I
Sorry.
think cheers
Yeah,
to that,
cheers.
guys. Cheers.
So people are organising. I actually heard about this too, Aaron. They were having a very late wedding, and then they wanted to be on the podium at midnight, so saying their vows at 1 minute
Oh, that's
past.
so
Which I thought
cool.
was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's magical.
I'd probably do the same.
Right on midnight. Sounds.
So the post that I saw, or like the news clip about, was 2 guys who got married, and I just thought just to have a look at the comments to see, because there's a few people out there that voted no and like horrible. So I looked at the comments to see what people were writing.
It's always worse when you go to. You know what I think about Facebook and YouTube comments?
What?
It's cancer.
Yeah.
It is just the worst of the worst. It brings out the worst in people. It's amazing how fast it goes from, we're talking about same-sex marriage, and then we're talking about Muslims, and then we're talking about let's go kill each other.
Yeah, I know.
It just escalates so quickly.
It's actually a dangerous kind of place to be in.
Erin, continue.
so
Let's hear how ridiculous we've got.
A few things that I saw where people wrote, "Yuck, that's disgusting."
Really?
God help
Oh
our
my
kids.
God.
What?
God,
The
what's
kids?
God gonna do?
Yeah, and how is that going to affect the kids as well?
I know, I was just like, really?
Yeah, my kid's gay now because it's legal.
You know,
Come on,
sort of
dude.
two people loving each other.
And
it's
another
just
one.
Spontaneously gay.
I know, it's stupid. Marriage is between a man and woman, and that's how it should stay. And then just another
Yeah.
one that I saw which made me feel like really sad and just, I don't know, see what you guys think about what
Yeah,
this
let's
person
have
said.
it. Let's have a hear.
Marriage is for straight people, always has been. Gays should call it something else like happy mental illness partners.
Oh, you
And
can't.
I when I read that, I was like, really? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Why would you say something
There are
like that?
people who are out there who seriously just go
They've
that
got nothing
no.
better to do, just
People
to...
who are gay, they've got a mental illness. Oh.
That's,
Seriously.
like...
That's low
you
of
can't-
the low.
Yeah, like, mental illness has got nothing to do with person being gay.
As a person who has mental illnesses,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
very offensive to
yeah.
hear someone describe that was.
It made me feel sick.
It was something that they did have as a psychiatric disorder up until 1990. The UN changed it
Yeah.
in the World Health Organization. I beg your pardon. Changed it in 1990 or in the 90s sometime, and it changed from being a mental illness.
You are fake news.
Look, I was looking at Isabella
Yep.
on the phone.
Our little daughter Isabella, Erin, pound that
She
shit.
is. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Thinking about how she is young and also growing up with the technology that we have nowadays. So, like for instance, I've got an iPhone 7 Plus, I believe, which is
actually sure.
I'm pretty sure. Which is like fast, it's up to date, it's got 4G, it's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all the features that you'd expect in an iPhone. But for her, she's only, how old?
She'll be
She's
4 this year.
4 this year in
Yeah.
June.
Yeah.
Is it? And yeah, so like, what would the technology be like for her when she's 25? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of latest trends, or, when Wi-Fi was a thing, like, oh, do you have Wi-Fi? Back in the day, it was only cable. Back before that, it was dial-up.
Yeah,
You know
fuck,
what
I
I mean?
hated that.
So, like, that's what I'm kind of thinking, like, I was like, seriously, there has to be, like, this next kind of iPhone idea that kind of saves you in every single way, like day-to-day life, kind of
Yeah,
like what the
it's-
iPhone did.
It's hard to imagine though, like just from like technology growing, like what it's going to be like when, Isabella is, like in her 20s or something like that. What kind of phone, or maybe it won't be a phone. Maybe it'll be like a little thing, like a chip in your hand or something, and it's just like call such and such.
Did you guys have the
Some weird thing.
the color Max?
The cover what?
The big color Max with the big backs.
Oh, the coloured.
How good were they?
big
In 2001, the Mac computer with the fucking colours. Came in red, green, blue.
I saw them but never used them. We had them at school but
No,
never
I didn't
used
have
them.
one at home.
Not at school, no? Did you just have old PCs?
I can't really remember.
But anyway, like nowadays, like
We don't even... Who uses a fucking fax machine nowadays, hey?
probably.
Only a couple of companies, maybe.
Yeah, businesses. Yeah.
But we've got some pretty sick technology happening now.
I'm amazed by the...
Just 20 years.
No, I'm amazed by the stuff that's been like seen in science fiction and comic books and things like that, and it's come like true, like the like smartwatches and like FaceTime,
Yeah.
slim televisions. That was the Jetsons, flat screen TV.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just sort of just amazing how that sort of stuff is there, and we look at it now and go, wow, like watching that cartoon, we just go, oh yeah, cool. But when I think about when I watched it when I was younger, I was like, wow, that seems such like futuristic, but this is an old cartoon. We didn't have that stuff back then.
Yeah.
What did we have? Like we had cassette tapes and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
I love that. Did you guys have, I had all these Disney books of VHS and it was like, at this tone, turn the page.
Yeah, I had those. Yeah. Put it up.
Yeah.
Simba, I am your father.
I'm very disappointed in you. Also, speaking of cassettes.
Follow Rafiki, he knows the way.
Speaking of cassettes, having also
Cassettes, yeah.
a Walkman and then going from a Walkman to Discman.
Oh, how trippy was that when that happened? That was
That was
mind blowing.
Awesome. It's like you didn't have to get a CD, get a tape, and record.
Yes.
So you could listen to your Walkman.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then what happened?
Then we got
I never had one.
MP3s
Yeah, I was kind of like
But
straight
then,
to the
who
MP3s.
made it even better?
Apple.
with the
Steve fucking Jobs.
iPods.
You
yeah.
seen that movie? I read up about him, but he came up with the idea because he looked at his daughter's Discman and was like, wouldn't it be so much better if you could just have all the music that you own and all the CDs that you have at home in your pocket?
Face the difficulties of today and tomorrow.
What technologies do you reckon we'll see happening? Has anyone...
Well, nowadays,
I want to...
sorry, you asked me a really good question.
Yeah.
I can answer.
Go.
So nowadays, I watch this. Not fuck, no, I've forgotten. I won't go into it. This bloke, he was at a seminar explaining future technologies, and
Yep.
he was like, "Oh, you know the Google glasses.
Yeah.
They're already way in advance thinking, putting contacts in your eyes. So if you're talking to someone, basically from your point of view, if Erin was talking in Japanese, I was looking at her, not understanding her, but subtitles will come up directly underneath you.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's either two ways. It's displayed on the screen, so inside the actual glass, the
Yeah.
like
lens.
the lens,
Yeah.
or it's lasered, like pointed directly into your eye. So it is crystal clear
So you can
and
understand.
perfect, and it's connected to the internet.
Wow.
So it works on the fly. Like basically, it doesn't have to be just that. It could be like maps. You're looking down the street and you ask, "How do I get to here?" And it will put a visual in your eyes, in real life, of where to go.
Be
So
like,
you'll follow
green
the
light
red,
this way. That'd be so
you'll follow
cool.
the red,
Wow, that sounds
like
cool.
tracks.
You know what's trippy about that is that's on like Black Mirror on Netflix. I keep telling you need to watch Black
Yes,
Mirror.
I really need to.
You need to, because
I need
this
to also
shit is
smoke this
amazing.
bomb.
Smoke the bomb. I want to talk about it quickly because what you're saying is everything that I've seen so far on Black Mirror has this kind of technology where you you record your eye. You have these contact lenses in your eyes, and you constantly recording your day, and then you can go back and forth throughout your day and see what you've said, what you've done, lots of cool things. Oh, I remember there was one thing that I wanted to quickly talk about because I got I got the link for this thing. Where the fuck is it? Where did the link for this game go? Oh, there it is. Do you recall, my friend Michael? Do you recall my wife Erin? We spoke about autonomous vehicles
Yeah.
and a pizza delivery.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
A little while ago.
Doesn't like Domino's over in
Wasn't
America
it? It was Domino's
have,
and something else. Ford,
have
wasn't
like drones delivering in the CBD?
Yeah, I think something like that.
But yeah,
Pizza Hut has just unveiled, in corroboration with Toyota, they have a pizza delivery van, which is an autonomous vehicle, and it's ready to go.
I thought it was some.
Look at that shit. Look how cool that looks.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking cool.
I know.
So you just type it in, and if like it's nearby, it's like, yeah, I've got this job.
Yeah.
And it just
It says
comes to
that
where you are.
it's most likely that it'd be a person would be in there to deliver the pizza,
Yes.
to still have someone have a job, so they'll be able to like get out and run at it, but the vehicle will just drive for them, so they won't have to worry about driving.
So they can sit back, relax, and
Just
have a
get their
drink.
money, in order, and then sit back,
At
relax,
least you know that you
fucking chill.
that you're not gonna get something that you didn't order, or you're gonna not miss out on something.
Yeah.
So, guys, there's some quite sad news
There is.
coming out of America involving the Trump administration, but we are not going to be talking and giving he who shall not be named
Who was
any time this week. We're going to try and avoid talking about him for as long as possible on this podcast this year. So, it is his administration, but he didn't order it. His Attorney General Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions III has overturned an Obama-era piece of legislation that allowed states to sell legalized marijuana,
Yes.
even though it's still illegal on a federal level. So now he has taken that away, so now that it's illegal, and they're trying to get federal prosecutors and federal police to go into those states and arrest people who have set up businesses and shit like that and take their profits away from them.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a sad situation. So wondering what do you guys think about the legalization process here? And I guess we'll move on from that. That's just a bit of news out of America. But I guess what do you guys think about the legalization process so far here in Australia? We've only gotten medicinal in 2 states, I think,
Yeah,
or
it's
3.
quite slow,
Yeah.
to say the least.
It's very slow.
There's a lot more countries, and unfortunately, we're just in the slow region. Maybe because we're so far away from everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
I don't know.
Or maybe because our fucking governments are fuckwit.
Yeah, but they take ages to do anything really. Like,
Yeah, I know.
took a while to bloody get same-sex
Legalised, yeah.
marriage legalized, and now, yeah. Do a
I
recap.
reckon
Next
in
one.
our lifetime,
Uh,
in our lifetime at least, I reckon it will be fully legalized.
5 to 10 years, I believe.
You are fake news.
So I want to talk about a movie that I've been hearing a lot about, and it is The Greatest Showman. Have you heard about The Greatest Showman?
I have.
Michael? Yes.
Not too much.
So, Erin, what about you?
No.
No. The Greatest Showman is a movie that is based on the life of P.T. Barnum, who started up a circus, pretty much the circus idea. Now, I have no problem with there being a musical, and I've got no problem with whatever message it conveys in it. I do just have this problem with the person who started the circus. So, to give you a little bit of background, P.T. Barnum started up the circus
Yes.
And he first of all, one of his first acts he had that got him some notoriety was a woman that he found who was of African descent, and this was just around the time just after slavery. So she was a woman of African descent, and there was some sort of loophole in the law, so he was able to rent her for a year for $1,000.
Right.
Her name was Joyce Heth.
Jesus.
And so he borrowed $500 from someone and got the rest from the bank. He took her around country and he put up signs saying that she was 161 years old and George Washington's nurse. So she was the former president's nurse when he was a little boy, apparently. Which is obviously just a lie. So, the first problem I have is with the fact that this woman was just taken around and was lied about. And said that she was old and she wasn't. He rented her for $1,000 and in the year or so that he had her, he made $1,500. He never paid her a cent in her time that she was with him.
Is she supposed to get paid? Is that part of the law?
Well, not back then. That's the point. Not part of the law.
Slavery.
It was pretty much slavery, yeah. Even though he technically rented her.
That's really fucked up. To say, like, to rent a person.
And this was just after slavery had been abolished too.
And that was just the first thing.
That was just one of the first things. Yeah.
Right.
Her story goes a bit darker and gets a bit sadder, where she unfortunately passes away.
Right.
And his last act with her is to get people to come in and watch a doctor perform a live autopsy on her. And he charged 50 cents
Oh my god.
for each. I don't know whether that might be an equivalent today. Maybe it was like $20, $25 or something like that a piece. But to come in and watch a live autopsy of her.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is upsetting.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
So another thing he also was, he also went over to Sri Lanka and took over 9 boats with him to just basically take some elephants. And a couple of them died on the way back because they were in really cramped conditions
That's sad.
inside the cages.
How long were they in there for?
It's a 4-month journey from America to Sri Lanka.
Right.
So he probably didn't feed them properly.
Yep.
It's really sad because I want elephants.
Yeah, so one of his when he did get the elephants back on shore, one of his preferred methods of controlling them was with this prodding device called a bull hook,
Yep.
which basically you stab them and it's a hook goes inside them
Yep.
to basically go fucking work, you fucking cunt, fucking do what I say. Another example was he also had 2 beluga whales, which are quite massive whales,
Yep.
and he had them in the basement of his museum.
Right.
And 2 days after he had put them in there was a fire in his museum, and the animals they were boiled alive, so they were like cooked when they found them.
Oh
Ew.
my god.
Mm.
This is really upsetting to hear. Like,
Ugh.
it's horrible to treat animals like that.
Yeah.
Do we like that the story is sensationalized? Do we like that the real story is not told? Because this is the real story right now, I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay, the real story is a real story, and that's good. If you know about it, then you know about it, right? But if you just watch the movie, right, and not do your, if you don't know what it's really about,
Yeah,
then I feel like you're just getting misled.
exactly.
It's as simple as
I put up something on Facebook and I just recommended people, hey, have a read about him, He's not all that he seems.
Yeah.
I'm sure Hugh Jackman is lovely and he's great and everything, and the song is probably fantastic, but I don't believe that we should be listening to it. I think a biographical film about him would have been way better, to go into the twisted darkness and see what psyche this cunt had to make him think, I'm going to use people for entertainment, I'm going to use people to make money. Here's the point I want to make, and this is something that I reckon is really important. if we didn't have that circus and his original idea and what he had started with, we wouldn't have the fantastic, awesome circuses we have today. So when you think about it in that way, is it so bad that even though it was evil and it was horrible, and thank goodness his actual circus company has shut down as of last year, is it all that bad that we have those great circuses now?
I went to Circus Lane. I'm glad that was there. That was amazing.
Difficulties of today and tomorrow.
When I think of the circus story, it makes me think of another sad story. Have you guys heard of the story of Emmett Till?
No.
No. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old black boy living in Mississippi in 1955, and he was visiting family, and he was outside this store, and a young woman came out, and he said, "How you going, Mum?
Yep.
See you later." Little did you know, she was married.
Yep.
3 nights later, her husband came over with a friend, stormed his house, took the little boy out of his mother's house. They beat him up. They shot him behind his right ear.
Oh my god.
They basically squished his face in.
It's horrible. Fucking hell. Just over.
And then to top it all off, they had a 32-kilogram metal fan, like for, cool you down and shit.
Yep.
And they tied that around his neck. But they didn't use rope. They used barbed wire.
Yep. That's fucked up.
That's horrible. That's making me sad because like having a daughter.
And then they dumped his body in the river.
Alright.
So then when his body got bloated, the barbed wire cut his skin, so he floated down the bottom. 3 days later, these kids were fishing, and they found him.
Oh my god.
Fuck. It's fucked up.
That's horrible.
So his mother had the foresight. This was 1955 in Mississippi, and she knew this was really important. Here's a picture of the young boy. Happy-go-lucky kid, yeah? And she had the foresight, and she thought ahead of what this murder of her son meant. She knew it was important. So she had this picture taken. This was a picture taken just after they had found him.
Yeah.
That's her and her husband. You see what the man's like? Shocked as shit, but he's like, "I'm the man, I'm strong." And she's holding it together barely. So she knew that this was an important time, and so she went when they had the funeral, she said, "You know what? I'm going to have an open casket, and people can come in, and photographers can take pictures, and you can put it in your newspapers, and you can show the whole country and the whole world what they did to my child."
Yeah.
So this picture went around the world. I think it went around the world.
Yeah. I've heard this story before.
Yeah.
It's quite fucked up.
And here's the picture of the newspaper. Oh, go back to it.
Hurry up, Sean.
I'm getting to it. Just off my cock.
No, it's just like, I don't know if I want to see it after like all the things that you said, what happened. It sounds horrible and really, yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
From what his face was.
It's really disturbing and yeah, makes you sick.
So his mother's, like I said, his mother saw what she should do was get everyone to see that. 10 years later, in 1965, they signed into law the 23rd Amendment, I believe, or the 35th. I can't fucking remember. I fucked it up. Sorry for everyone. They signed in a new amendment.
Yep.
That gave black people the right to vote, even though it had already been voted in 1865, so 100 years later, because the states, some states had said no, black people can't vote. A lot of states had said fuck what the federal government says. They signed a new law that superseded what the states wanted.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King marched on Selma with all those people, fought all the police that were against the civil rights movement, all the white people who were against them, and it all started because of this murder. So my comparison to P.T. Barnum's story is, even though there is an evil thing that happened and it's really horrible, it made a really good thing in the end happen. Black people in America are still having troubles today, but that was the turning point, and that changed life in America forever. That's 1955, that went in the papers, and a lot of white people went, oh, we are probably a bit, maybe we should change our ways a bit, this is a bit fucked.
Yeah.
Over a wolf whistle, yeah? Would you like to hear the end of the story?
Yeah.
The original woman who had said that she had been wolf whistled at later on in life before she died, said that she never had been wolf whistled at. She had spoken to him, but whatever he had said, he'd not deserved to be punched and murdered like that. And she was forced to make up a story by her overbearing husband.
Right. Fuck.
So even she felt guilty for... Can you imagine? She was carrying that around. So she was 21 when that happened.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how old she was when she died, but I was reading online, it said she was 72 when she finally sort of admitted, he never said anything. She'd been carrying that for 50 plus years.
She would have fucking been forced into it.
Yeah.
That cunt.
That's horrible to live with that and just think that it's okay when it's something
worthless human.
Getting into some deep talk, hey?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Isn't it like, it's very interesting to see the evils.
You are fake news.
So, I love that we had that really good, in-depth, deep discussion about that, because that's some stuff that you want to like wonder and trip about for the rest of your days. Yeah.
It'll lighten up the mood.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got some shout outs to do since I got some messages over the last few weeks from people and been in conversation with all these artists online, and I'm excited to share some music for people to listen to. Check these people all out on SoundCloud. Links will be in the description of our SoundCloud music. So, Erin, would you like to start it? I'll say the first one here. We've got Dear Father featuring Diamond Baby by Phantom. Oh yeah. This is not bad, man. Listen to this.
You gave me life when you taught me just what this world about. You are the reason why I always have the know-how.
Next we have Wanna by Freak Slug.
Oh yeah?
Freak Slug.
Freak Slug, what a cool name. It's a bit chiller. It's a bit... I got to chill out of this all day. We got next, we've got Yo Bitch by AKA Young Cruddy. Oh yeah. I'm probably hip hop on this.
Alright. Another one we have is Sacrifice by Ollie Sway.
Ollie Sway was it's mentioned him before. Yeah. Mentioned him before on there. Chill, bro. Yeah. The next one we got is LTS by Pluto Jones. Pluto Jones.
A little bit upbeat. Another one is Yogurt by Sim Sim the Boy.
Sim the Boy. Yeah.
Oh, that backing. Sounds so good.
Oh yeah. And we got another one there, Aaron?
Yes, we have Honest by Def the Kid.
Def the Kid. Alright, honest. Let's have a listen to this song. Before we introduce the last song, special mention. That was a good one. Alright, and the last one we've got here is From the North by The Activist. Now, The Activist happens to be a friend of our show and someone we all know, and it's an honour and a privilege to put on a short clip of his song. This is a song called From the North. It was coming out a couple of years ago, and I want to just plug as much shit as we want. This is our friend, The Activist. Listen to this shit.
Cause nothing's the same for nothing less across the game. We're blasting a flame, most people leave your Ross in the rain. I'm from the north, I'll bring it. The vocals under a name.
Oh, yeah.
From the north, I'll bring it. You know the one that is faithful. From the north, I'll bring it. I'll smoke you under the table. From the north, I'll bring it. I'm from the north, I'll bring it. I'm from the north.
Yeah, so, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think we got all those songs. I hope you guys really enjoyed listening to those. We're gonna plug some more shit as we go along in this podcast. But I guess, Erin, how would you like to say plugging our socials? This is the best part of the podcast. It's the part that everyone looks forward to. The shameless plug. Go.
Okay, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud.
Yes, SoundCloud, and our email at the 420projectpodcast@gmail.com. So from all of us here at the 420 Project Podcast, I'm Sean.
I'm Erin.
And I'm Michael.
That was episode number 12. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.
You are fake news.